An article published in the American Spectator over the weekend noted the rise in medical research involving aborted baby parts under the Biden administration. The article cited work being done at the University of Pittsburgh as well as Stanford University. Both projects received funding from the National Institutes of Health. Joining us now is Dr. Joseph Meaney, president of the National Catholic Bioethics Center. Dr. Meaney, welcome back. Great to see you. First off, why are there concerns that projects using aborted baby parts will become more prevalent under the Biden administration, and exactly what type of research is being conducted?
Right. So the Trump administration had put into place a lot of safeguards, including not allowing the government to use in its own research fetal tissue derived from abortion, and to make a very strict ethics review of anything that was funded by the NIH. In fact, they weren't funding anything really because they had such a good ethics review board. However, the Biden administration has basically opened the floodgates for the government to do research using fetal tissue taken directly from abortions, and also to fund that without any ethics review at all.
And I also understand that under national guidelines that scientists are prohibited from culturing human embryos for research after 14 days. But some scientists are now saying that those rules should be modified and pushed out 28 days. What more do you know about that and why these scientists want to do that and the dangers?
Right. So the original purpose of the 14-day rule was essentially to prevent the creation of human life and gestation of human life in laboratories all the way to birth. In the past, they couldn't actually keep embryos alive past 14 days. So the ban, in a certain sense, was theoretical because they couldn't actually do it. Now there are certain experiments where they think that they can keep these embryos alive in laboratories for longer periods of time. And because they can't do that, they want to do it. Of course, it's unethical to do any research with human embryos and creating them in a lab and trying to continue them, to any length of time.
And do you think they'll be able to do that? Do you think they'll be able to, push it out to 28 days eventually?
Sure. I mean, the scientific side of things, what can be done is growing all the time. And there was a recent experiment in Israel where they managed to grow mouse embryos for a longer period than 14 days. And so they're thinking they might be able to do this in the future with human embryos, and they want to get permission. But of course, this is very, very unethical research to begin with. And the 14-day rule is a problem. It's not ethical. And to extend it further is even worse.
And Dr. Meaney, how do you see this all, playing out eventually? Do you think that there will actually be an increase in research using aborted baby parts? And what can we as Catholics do, if anything, when it comes to opposing this type of research?
Right. I think it's very important to protest and to say, we do not want our taxpayer dollars going to fund research that directly supports abortion, and the abortion industry. That's where they're getting the tissues and the organs from these children that have been aborted. It's completely unethical. There's no excuse for doing this. And yet, because the funding is being made available by the Biden administration, more of this research will be done. And we have to protest as much as we can. Probably the solution in the end really is to change our political leaders, because I don't think they're listening. But people need to have a certain amount of moral outrage about what is being done.
Yeah, we definitely need to make our voices heard indeed. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Dr. Joseph Meaney, president of the National Catholic Bioethics Center. We appreciate it.
Thank you.